Well, hello everyone. This is the Train Club here, and today I'm dropping in to do a type of video that I never enjoy making. Expose videos. Let me just start this video off by saying that whenever I see some sort of quarrel or drama fest going on in this fandom, I usually just ignore it or try my best to steer clear of it. And when me or any of my friends get involved in it, I always take as many steps necessary as possible to work things out the easy way. I always think that doing rants and expose videos just heat up the battle even more. However, when a situation is at the point where there is absolutely no other alternative, I finally accept the fact that doing a video is the only way left to resolve things. So this is what I have to do today. So I'm sorry, but I have no choice but to do a rant video. The user I'll be ranting on is Bert the Blue Engine. Now I know you're all thinking right off the bat, wait, what? I thought you two were such good friends. You let him into all your streams and talk constantly with one another in the comments. You even planned a crossover with him. And you're absolutely right. We were good friends. Or at least I thought we were. However, this weekend, me and another friend have discovered the truth about the friendship between us and Bert, and we figured out his true colors, to say the least. So first things first, let's get into the rant and explain the history of why I'm making a video on Bert in the first place. So, right around when quarantine first started, there used to be this hangout chat called Dingy, and it contained me, my friends Little Western 09, Sam Brunt, and of course Bert the Blue Engine. Now gradually over the next few weeks when we first started the chat, it started becoming much more active. The four of us would call there almost every day, and we were really growing as good friends. We all trusted each other, we all considered each other some of our best friends, and it stayed that way for a while. One day, around late spring, early summer probably, the four of us are casually calling, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Bert began making some really unsettling noises, to say the least. To be a bit more specific, he started making choking sounds, saying stuff like, "Help me, please," in a whispering voice, and obviously, it immediately sparked a great deal of concern among all of us, and we got worried sick about him. Worried sick. And when we asked him what the heck was going on, he explained that he was having a hallucination about this demon who was trying to drive him insane and get him killed. Now, obviously, this is extremely disturbing, and we were all shocked out of our minds, because, real people actually have this mental illness where they can see hallucinations and people who they think are out to get them, mental issues like that. So over the next few days, the same thing kept happening, and Bert started giving more info about it in the chat. So for hours on end, me, Western, and Sam were worried about him like nuts, as I already stated. We would constantly check in and ask how he was, and if he was seeing a therapist, and we were all over becoming paranoid and beyond concern of how he was. Because, we were his close friends, obviously. So progressively over time, he started mentioning less about the demon, and eventually it was never brought up again. So we were all relieved to find out Bert was okay and thought this was all over. However, little did we know that at that time, throughout the entire summer, Bert started posting almost constant, disturbing videos saying concerning things like, "I'm killing myself, I'm feeling depressed, there's no point for me to live." All summer long he would do this, but then an hour later he would come back to YouTube just fine. Now, that's not how suicide usually works. You don't have a suicidal breakdown saying you're killing yourself and then an hour later be perfectly fine making YouTube videos. That's just not how an illness works. And he was doing this stuff very frequently, to say the least. He would say he's killing himself and an hour later be completely fine like nothing happened. So, I was starting to get a little bit sus of him, but it never once crossed my mind that he would be as hard as to fake something like this. But the videos he would make when he would get upset would happen with, everything. Random little things that happened to him in real life that he got upset about, he would post on YouTube, even though it had nothing to do with his content. Like, one time in particular, I remember he posted a video saying, I'm being accused of something I didn't do. Like, that's not the type of thing you would post on YouTube, if you know what I mean. But we'll get to that later in the rant. So eventually, towards the late fall and early winter, things were pretty calm with Bert. You know, he wasn't putting out any more of those videos, hadn't mentioned anything about the demon, everything was chill. However, one day in like early January or somewhere around there, he posted a video with the simple title, I'm sorry. And when I watched the video, the context of what he had done in the first place was extremely unclear. Like, he never once stated what he was apologizing for. So I asked in the comments, and he never responded. So seeing he wasn't communicating with me, and I had no idea what he had done, I decided to distance myself from chatting with him for a little while, until I had a better understanding of what actually happened. So one day, shortly before this past weekend, I was on a Discord call with a user who wishes to remain anonymous for this rant, so I'll just be referring to him as this user for this video's sake. So we were just chilling, you know, playing a game, and when one of us brought up Bert's name, I mentioned how I hadn't been chatting with him for a few weeks now, and then the user brought up something very disturbing, something that made me stop in my tracks. The user mentioned to me that Bert had said he wasn't serious about everything that happened with this demon from the summer, and it was all false. So after hearing the user's story, I marched right onto Discord to ask him about it. And sure enough, the thing that Bert was about to tell me would make me lose complete respect for him faster than ever. Oh, and one more thing before we get deep in here. If you're wondering why my name says James Club here, me and some friends from another chat decided to do this thing called James Mafia, where we all changed our names to James for a little while, so yeah, that's besides the point, but I thought I'd just let you know. So I asked Bert about the demon, and he just casually says, oh yeah, I lied about that demon. Are you sick? What the hell is wrong with you? Me, Western, and Sam had been worried sick about you for weeks, hours on end, and you faked that entire thing to get some attention. Like, this isn't just something you can ignore and say casually. This is a serious mental illness that can be life-threatening, and you fake it to your best friends behind their backs so you can get some sort of spotlight. Like, that's just messed up. But out of everything I was angered about when Bert told me this, the thing I was the most put off about was the fact that this would have kept going for God knows how long had I not asked Bert about this demon. Like, he would have continued keeping this from us behind our backs. He clearly had no problem with it. So throughout our entire friendship for the past year, he couldn't bother to pucker up and confess that it was fake. So I don't know, maybe your best friends wouldn't be worried to death over you? Like, that's just fricked up. Beyond fricked up. So at that point, I was almost enraged because obviously the amount of time we spent caring for Bert and helping him get through a real-life illness, he was just a spoiled, rotten liar. Yeah, some friend you are. So at that point, I was done. I confronted Bert and hit the block button so fast my thumb almost broke the screen. So after this, I quickly told Little Western and Sam Brunt, and they confronted him faster than ever as well. We were all just heartbroken for that 9 months. The person who we thought was one of our closest friends was just using us for some sort of sick joke to get some eyes on him. And he wasn't even planning on admitting it, is the worst part. But come to find out that we weren't the only victims that Bert had pulled this demon card on. And this wasn't the only scummy thing Bert has done in general. There was a boatload more of hidden gems that was hidden under the cave. And how did I find this all out? A truly amazingly helpful guy named SmokeyJock194. So please go subscribe to him after the rant. After Smokey heard about what had gone on down with me and Bert, he revealed everything to me. He gave me screenshots and info about how Bert had whipped out the demon card to his friend group too. And since Smokey had been good friends with Bert, he also had some more obscure information about how Bert had apparently said the N-word, revealed his first name on a stream, and most sickening of all, made fun of his aunt who had passed away, which words cannot describe how disrespectful and cruel that is. And sure enough, Bert said okay and confessed to all these things in the screenshot Smokey sent me, which is crystal clear proof, before you ask, that he actually did these things. Not only that, but Smokey also confirmed that he had found out the suicide vid from the summer had been faked as well when he was in a call with Bert. And after all this, that's not hard to believe. Smokey even gave me some clips of Bert losing his temper and saying some pretty messed up stuff on streams. So after this, I was certain I was never going to forgive Bert for what he's done. So yeah, go ahead and try to enjoy these clips, I guess.
Wait, it's not me, though. I can't remember. He controls my expressions.
Bert, how do you remember that? Bert, your memory literally got wiped. How do you remember that?
Well, for their two different things, I managed to get it back, though.
That's pretty sus.
Well, I watched back, I looked back at certain things, and that's how I got my memory back.
Yeah, I'm a little sus, though. Like, literally.
Yeah, pretty pathetic, right? But to add to things even more, another friend of mine who also wishes to remain anonymous revealed a story about something that had taken place the same night as that video where Bert was being quote-unquote accused of something he didn't do. My friend explained to me with proof that Bert had made multiple fake accounts and joined the game me and my friends were in. And when he pulled the demon card to get attention and didn't get any, he started being very harsh and was trying to creep them out by bringing in fake accounts and pretending to know their names since he did to get revenge. And once Bert was caught doing this, he made a claim that it wasn't him, that he had gotten hacked, which perfectly matched up with the story from the video. So this means that Bert's demon card has been being pulled all over the place across the internet, little did I know. And it's clearly displayed that most of the time he uses it to take advantage of things that are mostly stupid, like getting him a role, as Smokey told me. So finally, after we had all cracked the code, Bert makes this apology video on his channel saying sorry to us about the demon. But there's something obvious about this apology. It can't be true. It can't be true because Bert just didn't decide to admit what he had done out of the blue today and apologize. It was after the fact that I had told him I was going to be doing a video on him. So tell me, if Bert was perfectly fine with hiding this away for 9 months, then why are we supposed to believe he's sorry as soon as we find out and say we're going to expose him? That's not how life works, Bert, my man. You had 8 months to come clean and admit what you did. So when we finally back out and it's time for you to pay the consequences, you can't shove out a half-ass apology last minute and try to change things around. Because this would have gone on forever had I not mentioned it. But the thing I find funniest about this is because after all this, Bert for some reason doesn't understand why we don't think he's sorry. Like, he started a stream today, or probably yesterday at the time this video will be uploaded, and during that stream he started getting pissed because we didn't accept his apology. Like, listen to this.
They think I didn't mean my apology. Can you believe that?
What? Of course you meant it.
I knew you meant your apology when you did that serious dance.
No, I'm saying, like, they didn't think I meant my apology. Can you believe that? Like, since I was looking at one of the...
Okay.
I mean, I really did mean it, since, but like that's one thing I don't understand. It's like, why the hell do you think that?
Would you go through?
Bert, do you seriously expect everything to go back completely normal when you make a 2-minute apology vid almost a year later of keeping this from us? When Bert says this here, this clearly implies that he was expecting immediate forgiveness and clearly was not that sorry. And it's clear as day that Bert had no good reason to do this in the first place. Although I don't know why anyone would, obviously. Smokey sent me Bert's confession and reasoning for why he did it, and it's the most pathetic excuse ever. He simply states that he wanted to see what being the bad guy felt like, and he couldn't let it go once he got hooked on it, which is basically him outright admitting that he enjoys being a bad person, even to his closest friends. So overall, sadly, in the past few days, I have learned that a person who I thought was a very good friend is really a lying, backstabbing, selfish dirtbag who will pull any card under any circumstance to get attention, even if it's just plain sick. And before I end this video off, I'm full aware that Bert has brainwashed many people into believing his side of the story, even with no evidence. So Bert, if you're watching this, which you most likely are, let me just tell you that I know good and well that you're probably going to make a follow-up video to this explaining how I'm somehow in the wrong and being mean to you and you're not the one at fault. I know you're going to try whatever you can do in your power to frame me or get people to hate me somehow. And I don't give a crap whatsoever. I have an overwhelming amount of proof for all the awful things you've done. So if I were you, I wouldn't even try to fight back. But then again, I'm not you, and thank goodness for that. Thank you all for watching, and if you ever come into contact with this user, whatever you do, do not fall for his bullcrap. I'd suggest just blocking him immediately and moving on. Thank you for your support, and please go check out my friend Little Western's rant as well. Link will be in description. Until next time, thank you for watching, and bye for now.